to innocence. See? See that? See? See that? Hi all! Welcome all to Juniper Teachings and Meditation Friday night live. Into the stream streaming online. Well, I'm very happy and I'd like all of you to say hi and at least let me know who is there and see, because I have so much difficulties in relation to the YouTube with the software collapsing and all that. I hope not create a struggle at this time. So, welcome all. I'm very happy for this Friday lives and I hope, I can, I think we'll have a very nice Friday, and by the news and the talk, and we have a very interactive, interaction. There will be a lot of interactions among us. Well, today, what I pretend to do is two things. One is to overview what I've been doing and looking into the future. The last weeks, what I have been putting here in such a way is really to discuss about the roots of that Buddhism philosophy, and which you call awakening the mind. So, and then we have the awakening the mind teachings. We're talking about the Buddhism not being a religion, but yet it is a philosophy. And the root of that philosophy is to awaken our mind, to become awake. And awakening, really luminous into that. But then we do have to have awareness why and what block us to not manifest that state of being awake. By the way, and as a synonym, I use that. That sometimes, that condition to be awake, not state, but that condition to be awake is one of the qualities to have the potency of our mind, to have clarity, luminosity, knowing the phenomena, in particular the phenomena of our existence into that. But we do have to have awareness, conscious about those things, conscious the fact which make us for not to manifest that kind of luminosity or clarity per se. Then along the line, we are in the path into that. We suffer this and then say, relax. In our idea of relaxation, I go to the spa, go to the bar, I go to massage, I go to dance, I go things, right? But in reality, that state of being awakened is coming from within. So I I'm not aware what block. I try to relax. I get this thing temporarily, no question. A good massage is a good massage. It's a temporary. So always we're craving something more because you don't have that stable conditions, especially in those times. Panic is all over the place. And then Buddhism is such a way that training the mind is look within. It's an inner journey. It's not outside. So that's inner journey. And we need to cultivate that. We need to bring that inner journey in ourselves. So and then when we be able to perceive that, and the further we go in, we're growing. So therefore, we do have the capacity to grow. Meaning means to grow, expanding the clarity of our mind, and then be able to get it ourselves much more relaxed, content, joyful, and so forth. That is the training. That's the Buddhism training context. It is an unbelievable rich methodology. As we go, is a language for our transformation. As we learn that language, the definitions, the meaning of it, and then we put into practices, and then we keep growing into it. See what's going on today, the world collapsing. Why? The majority of people. Because they depend on the world to illuminate them, to bring the energy to them. Even without that situation today, how many great artists, comics, and many figures in the world that are so despair, even though they are brilliant, they kill themselves because they cannot handle that pressure in such a way. So then, so therefore, when you take even that luminosity towards them, the world, it start praising them, even become worse into that. So, and that's where we need to engage into a very live tradition is Buddhism. Meaning the following. Buddha Shakyamuni behind me, the Prince Siddhartha Gautama, established a tradition, was passed to master, and those teachings and knowledge evolved and evolved and evolved, such a point which, is alive because the old message is now really continue to develop that tradition. It is a living, enlivening tradition. So, and then we did all those weeks and give advice to our better analytical meditation. Before going to the news of the day, let's do our first concentration meditation. I'll put my time for us to doing in our analytical meditation. Yes, start now. So then let's review a little bit the news. Always I talk about the news. For me, the news today was uh, always depressing, sort of speaking. Same. But today in particular touched me very strong. I'll tell why. Into this situation, the federal government sent some kind of secret police, no name and no nothing, and just, arrest people without anything. Did a shooting in the face of one young boy, and because those rubber bullets, definitely might fracture the skull, and this and that. So I am an immigrant. I came from Brazil. This is like I grew up seeing those things, dictatorship and so forth and so on. It's okay. But United States of America touch my heart. Really touch my heart. Touch my heart into that. So without going the policy or the politics into that, getting those things, let's go to the real stuff. Kids everywhere will change the government, don't change mentality, and even get it stronger and stronger down over. Now, what will be the next? What will be the next? Then I'll describe that in two folders: the present situation and the future. But when I'm talking about the present situation, I don't talking about the government. I'm talking about the Juniper. Why? Because there is a vision, there is a dream, and that's where we're fighting. That's where we try to organizing things into that level and so forth. Juniper, in such a way, is not the path of abandoning the world and then say, whoa, as you progress the Juniper, you become like this. No, no, it's not to become like this. It's indeed not to become like this. But indeed, if you continue into that aspect of it, so when you look for Juniper, you cannot find it. So Juniper is a little light in the middle of that darkness. It's a little light into that. Then those close, oh, suddenly we can perceive more. And that's where the Juniper is about. So the triangle, the tip, is what we're doing. And then you have the clinic, you have the going up the clinic, the integrated practices, the Juniper practice, and then become a little more open path of meditation and the voice of the Juniper for the whole society and everything else, and go into that. Sometimes it's very difficult for us and to be able to understanding that and participate in that way, because we are so narrow. We are so, in other words, so we don't have the methodology. You have a dream, but you don't have the methodology. And that's our vision. My vision contaminates, then we have a very good group of people which have the same vision. That's become our vision into that. That's the future of us. Is to expand my vision, become our vision, and then we enhance the Juniper tradition, the Juniper Integrated Care Clinic, and the Juniper community. So, if we're talking about this present situation, that's my challenge, our challenging. I mean, I know it's more my challenging. And some of our culture, I mean, the group will fight in good way to override those challenges. But I knew what the problem is. Let's see where that philosophy we're talking about. Tibetan Buddhism. There are many traditions. Tibetan Buddhism, which consider one who have the best knowledge upon the Vajrayana system, which is the highest of all the Buddhism methodology, and so forth and so on. So, and that tradition, the challenging is the culture, right? When the Buddhism entered to the culture is already very, very mystical. Everybody doing sorceries. Everybody was a sorceress. Work with energy, the bompo, very strong. So they tried to introduce initially the philosophy and the culture. Nah, I want my sorcery. I believe in the spirit of the mountain, the spirit of the wind, the trees and the rivers and waterfalls and the hails and everything. Even sometimes the shaking about small shakes there, and they have earthquakes, but not so strong. I mean, so much record as you have in here, but they do have some time by time. So, and then came one yogi and put the philosophy inside that system. The people like it, follow, become the community. Monasteries was established for perpetuating those teachings or expanding those teachings. Unbelievable, great master coming from there. Great system was developed. The commentary, whoa, astronomical in sense of the commentary. Then they have their problem. Chinese, they have to go. The Buddhism come from the West. Our culture. Completely diverse. Everybody is everybody. And already we fight about those diversities. It's me, it's not you, and then we never get the harmonizing into that. People, wonderful people, are extremely individualistic, not collective. Individual, me, I am my own man, or my own woman, and the system, and go into that. And then you say, whoa, even though it was a very high educated, but that high educated is educated in a system which maintain that system closed. It's not educating you to enhance your mystical capacities as well. So that kind of dream we put it right away into in contrast with some of the psychiatric unit. I had, by the way, a news today, a young man which I saw last year, beautiful energy, but in a verge to collapse. He did collapse and moved from California to Texas. He's in also right now in the middle of the street. I mean, is no shower, no nothing. Drag their own head. I mean, how do you call rags? Cloth into that, almost naked. The mother in contact and work with them, work with the energy. Then they are able to get one group put him into how they call a treatment. This particular man, capacity and ability in other country will be a great yogi because the culture, the people, the community, and is specialized to do. Our culture, by the diversity, individuality, I negate that stuff, and then in contrast, create situation for that man doesn't doesn't collapse into that. So that is our challenging into this world, particularly. We're not Tibet, we're in the West. We are here. What to do? Ah, let's meditate first. See if come bright light coming for us at that moment. Let's do our second concentration meditation. So we're talking about the future. I'm talking about my vision into that and my dream. Why so? Because in some ways I born with such a faculties which my father, even doctor, could not understand in that. I'm so lucky I was not behave like that gentleman, and I was able to get to higher education, engineer, but work attracted by the computer to think that way. Nevertheless, I never work as an engineer. Then paper, but not at all into it. But always in my parallel world, I start to develop my sensitivities and knowledge into that. So I learned a great deal of that. So then I come here, try to bring some people into that contact. But meanwhile, and before that, I was able to meet a masters, took that apprenticeship very serious and start to absorb that tradition, the Tibetan. And because my culture equal as the previous, the pre-Buddhism culture in Tibet is the same, I was able to absorb that very quickly and learning that this mass, whoa, this person has the potential, and it starts to give to me, and I was able to, by my behaving the same way, absorb that. What become our dreams, how other people in the same vision come to me and say, well, let's do it. And then we start the project become a Juniper, a tradition. And then I still carry on a lot of that clinic, try to do it. I mean, some members has been participating to that. And we try to build a community. We have a very, very little, but we do have a solid community into that. So the future right now is the maturity of the foundation, the Juniper Foundation. The board of direct founder has grown. I was able all those years to teach as a lineage holders, candidates, and bring that. Unbelievable amount of the material has been done and translated to that practice and so forth and so on. I do have a lot of old students and it's still with us and into that, and many factors into that. So I try to bring that all together to you guys. And that's what we try to do. And that's our future. And that's where we go. Now, at this moment, what I like now, and I wanted to hear from all of you. A little bit, type it up. Type it up. I want to put a little, one of the computers over here, iPad, for myself to see what you guys are asking, you know, and then I'll see how it goes into these answers and questions and so forth and so on. So, and I have people all over the place. This one, and this one, and here. Hi, John Jenkins. I could not see it because of the distance from Lakeport. So wonderful. I mean, the family, my dentist friend, uh, everything all together. Beautiful people, beautiful community we have. But I want to hear to all of you and say something. Otherwise, I'll continue a little bit into that aspect of it. Well, as you shy, then let me put it out and so forth. So, as I said, this culture is highly, highly, highly well educated. And the volume of that material Tibet has been tremendously. So, but it is, even though, I mean, a lot of that material has been translated, and many of those high educated people received PhD degrees to make a comment or translation of those texts was generated in Tibet. So we have a practice we do here, awaken the mind, almost invisible into that. So let me put one system of. I have one book here in my hand. I want to show a few books for you to get an understanding what I'm talking about. Let's study where Samaja is a very high. So one particular person got a PhD to translate this book, which is the Guya Samaja practice of the Nagarjuna system, only the volume 1, and the generation state, not completion, and following the teachings by Gyume, Kensul, or Samjama. In other words, and that I'm talking about the tradition is alive. This mass is still alive. And one person received the PhD, and translated this book. Look how it is. It's all very peculiar of visualizations and very complex. But you have to understand in the system. And otherwise, he understood the system intellectually. I wrote down, read the Tibetan, put it there, and the commentary of the great master. But as a practitioner, not whatsoever. So many, when this happened by Jeffrey Hopkins, Robert Thurman, he is another book of Robert Thurman here, and he's sitting the throne of Lama Tsongkhapa at Columbia University, brilliantly illuminating the lamp of the 5 states, the practice of the king of Tantra. Also, it is a Guya Samaja, Robert Thurman. Here's the book. So, and all the quotations, everything's in here. But yet, he's a professor, intellectually, but not knowing that system, how to work into that. Here's another great book, illuminating the profound principles of the nature of the mind, the profound inner system. And talking about the channels and going on and what the element is and the delusion, ignorance, and abiding this and that, and how that's really the structure of the saloon practices. I'm going to that. There are many, but not much practices. I'm very fortunate to have that, I would say, this functionality for this world and unbelievable clarity and functionality into that system. But I believe we can bring that for the modern world. That's what we need to not abandon the news of the ordinary news, but make that news more relevant into that. So you point to me limitation is all because people are not practitioner as well as scholar. No, I mentioned is the thing. They don't they are so narrow into the mind of the concept that don't allow the energy and become a practitioner itself. Because they have the way to survive themselves. Is very few of those scholars are indeed a practitioner. But even that is still very limited by the intellect not the great discourse, but not walking properly as a yogi, as a master, into the Vajrayana path. Because some of those keys was not given for them. They don't know. They don't know how to give initiation. They're not qualified to give initiation. They don't know how to generate other kind of energy and the concentration and so forth and so on. And that's what's happened at that level into this. So then what's the next? What to do? Two folders. Immediately, all of you, what should you do it is the following. Continuous studies, review all the teachings I have been giving to the awakening the mind. It starts to get a little grip on the how they call them? The Four Noble Truth, the Four Immeasurable Thoughts, the 12 links of depending origination, understanding that, which to go pretty much about us, how we're doing that cycle, and then consequently, you know, mind and its function from the point of view of the Buddhism, Tibetan Buddhism, and so forth. And then as we study, reviewing those teachings, reflect upon that, keep your meditation, your concentration and analytical meditation. For those which you have done, receive initiation, keep doing your meditation. Wait, we are in retreat. A forced retreat, we can do it. So now is a good time for doing that. And then put your mind into that. For our side, what we're doing is to continue to develop a system, a reliable system for developing the practitioner, building a modern Buddhism tradition for us, for the flourish of the Juniper and to spread more the Juniper. And that's what we're doing. In meantime, I have been tired and work the clinic, my agenda, the clinic, that I could not put energy. I need to put the energy into that. So for that, I'll have a holiday, and I need some rest. I'll be in holiday until the middle of August. But doesn't mean I'm going to Bahamas. In fact, one house which I used to have the access, the last hurricane uprode I never went there, many invitations, but I never made it. So therefore, now don't go anywhere, I'll go here. But then I'm working for bring us, and as I study to put those teachings available for you guys, the practices, and all together as the board and the member, the founders, and work into that, and many inviting people to participate into this process. And I will use you guys in different platform for the guinea pig in such a way. I don't have to see how it goes. It means it's YouTube, this and that, to have this the capacity to do some tricks and then do the teachings, and those do a distance. I mean, teachings, bring people, how they call, bring different picture like that, be able to bring like those things, and then be able to be more interactive, and the questions will come up or everybody see. So I need to learn more of those things and consequently build a nice educational system for us to develop us in a much better way into that. So has been wonderful experience. I'm so happy because that pandemic state, we take advantage of that to growth, and then Juniper should become a force, a positive force for this world, to bring more clarity, to bring more really understanding. So be scholar is wonderful, but not narrow scholar. We are high educated, so we have a capacity to learn more into that, but we should not be dogmatic. But we need to allow that energy flows for having more, what they call experiences, psychic experiences, sexual experience. If you're doing a psychic, it doesn't sound good, but not to become a witch, but become a potent means, a yogi and yogini into that level. So and that's what I really looking for that, and then I really GC. I like the news to pay attention what's going on. The news is a great branch of compassion to me. Is a path how I see some people injustice and this and that, and I always looking that way to growth. And I have one particular guy. He doesn't come often to the news, but he sometimes he give a little when it's international news. He pop up. He's a writer, and he lives in Paris. I encountered him twice into the cafe in Paris. So I went there to get us some bitter, and then one the cafe. I mean, on the Boulevard Saint Germain, and across the street for the Cathedral of Saint Germain, and where the scarred bodies, I mean, the body, the bones is there. I mean, dedicate to him. I was sitting on the back because the front everybody smoke and have unbelievable mille and with coffee. And then he's there, reading his camera and doing something. And then he said, "Yeah, you appear on the TV." And I think at that time I say CNN, um, and and then CNN, and yeah. I contribute to do something, and this is many years back. So what's going on? He died yesterday. He was walking Paris, took some picture, post. He got home, had a heart attack. 8 years old, man. So, and what's going on is the following. I'm going to, he's younger than me. So he was took his pictures at that day. We'll never know when that's happened. I'm going to be 70. And I need to pass those teachings. And I need to bring more people to receive that. But I need to be organized in order to deliver that better. And now we know what the system is. We has been mature. We has been grown. And then it's much more possible to do so. So, hope I don't have any attack tomorrow. Today I almost did because the computer collapsed. Everything collapsed in the morning in here. So, and I was doing something, and then suddenly things collapsing. I mean, collapsed. And I lost the translation. I have to put this and that. I mean, the lunch was postponed. I mean, just walking to that, I was able to fix. And then the transmission in the middle of the transmission, the YouTube from Brazil, and then boom, stop it. I have to restart again and bring people. Some half of the group of people disappear because that, and now so far has been smooth. I'm not going to perform today the analytical meditation because that would be a homework. Homework in the sense of processing everything has been done, get familiar with that, reason upon, and then the aha is how I could apply that for the growth of Juniper. You. Because Juniper is just a name. But you using that, your growth, representing the emanation of the teachings. You are the aliveness of that teachings. And that's what this tradition is alive. It's not out there, it's in. And that is the awakening of the mind. For us to continue to serve people more and better, for us to have a real community, Juniper. And why not invite friends for people you're getting better? The friends, listen, this is unbelievable. We join all kinds of community, but don't join a good community of growth because somewhat we think like we are weird. No, we are not weird. We need to grow. We need to be convinced that goodness of ours. We need to be very strong who we are. And then let other people see your inner quality, your inner happiness, your inner balance, compassion to you and to others. Let people see the clarity of your wisdom. That is the Juniper. That is the Juniper we want to grow and bring that all together. A lot of people thinking sometimes I'm too hard. No, I don't. I'm just protecting the tradition for not to fall away. I need to protect that. And now that tradition, it is protected, it's grounded. And at the point to be able to be protected. Now we can continue to grow. So that's my last words for this moment, for that moment of our growth, our inner development, and our development to bring a better system for us. A system where a system where we all be healthy, joyful, be patient, be lovely. Take a look at that two videos His Holiness the Dalai Lama about science. How we approach science, not from the point of view of religion, but only for logic, only for reasoning, only for thinking. An unbelievable way to debate and with the philosophers, the scientists, and then go, whoa, I didn't expect that from you. Why? Because the wrong view we had it into that. This is unbelievable system, but we had to get it beyond those words. The Buddhism itself has own dogma, no question. When you get to the community to put it that and then become positive, no question. But that's the part of the religion, not the philosophy. Philosophy is reasoning. It's for us to bring it as the best as you can be as a human. Evolving. The brain is not stuck, it's not rigid. Evolving. Evolving by debate, reasoning, analyzing. That's what they study. And that's where you should do, review those teachings, review those things, meditate, develop concentration meditation, and more the analytical meditation. Analytical meditation is difficult because you don't have the mind yet for have that inside. Then become, what? We don't have much material familiarity. We don't know how to reason properly yet to see how our mind is, me, how, my pride, ego, and so forth and so on. And then we collapsing all along into this system and so forth. So, keep simple. Make a habit. And yet, make a habit. And in the middle of that difficult pandemic stuff, try to remember where the source of realization comes upon within. So if you agitate, say, oh, I need to go more inside to become more calm. How we spend the community? By continuing our practices. Because this is a path. What you need to do is, Juniper is my path. And that's what I'm going. And consequently, we'll be able to gain more of relaxation. Thank you very much. I'll send a picture for my island in the middle of the Pacific with a hammock, monks, and coconuts. Good luck. Now, I'll be at Samuel Way eating some croissants and enjoying, the phone calls and talks and yet helping people because there are so much to do, so much needed in that. I hope you really understanding. Let's build up our community. Invite your friends to see your growth. Invite them to growth. And together, we'll be able to create a new world full of hope, full of clarity, full of goodness. That's what I wish for you. Long life and happiness. So, until the middle of August, and we'll be in touch. So, you guys know that you're over here. The emails, WhatsApps, whatever things, we know each other, maintain connection. And then I hope, the time change for us to see each other and be able to be more present. And I believe it will be soon as out, soon as we're thinking to serve you guys better and do it. So all the suggestions, all the things is welcome. And I hope, you have a more thoughtful community. And for doing, my emails is very behind. I need to say thank for people even participating to that, receive the benefits, and proudly say, "Oh, Rinpoche, I feel so good for helping to help me and thing because I cannot be there, and not because this, but at the distance and so forth." And I feel very happy that's happened and all along, and that's what I want to continue and to bring it as the best as you can, and for us. In name, in my dream, in my dream and aspiration, in name of our dream and aspiration, in name of the founders of that foundation, to continue that foundation. By the way, the foundation has even before become a juniper per se, but the juniper is the really expression of that condition. That's why we changed the name to become juniper, you know. And then I hope we are looking, for really and participating to that and growth. Unbelievable the work of the founders, our work all together, the maturity now. I can say, they are my teenagers, growing to that, has been born into this process. And that's what I feel very happy about that. And then, until then, all my love, all my care, and it's wonderful. By the way, in many ways, that absorption from Tibet over here, and to put it that in parentheses, also I give thanks for you guys, because without that exchanging, I'm not able to sharpen my mind to decode the difficulties of that culture and then generate a nice culture for us to be joyful. All my friends, all my how they call friends and enemy, um, friends and students and practitioners into that members of the community, a big hug, big profound hug, a kiss. Be well.